Make sure that whatever you're offering or promoting fits with the brand that you've built, the promise, because your brand is your promise.
Hey, and welcome back to the Instagram Insider Hacks podcast. Today's guest is one you've heard from before. She's a friend, colleague, and previous podcast guest, Christa Hutchins of Do a New Thing. As you know, this is the third installment in our series on Instagram monetization. And y'all, if you haven't listened to episodes 1 and 2 yet, be sure to subscribe to this podcast and listen to those episodes with my special guests when you get a chance, because subscribers are getting super valuable and actionable tips for how to not only make money using the Instagram platform, but how to grow on Instagram so you can successfully monetize. Last year in 2020, we all remember that year, right? Christa made a bold yet wildly successful move. She launched a fundraising project as a test pilot using Kickstarter. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Kickstarter, as I was, you'll be interested in knowing how you can do this for your monetization efforts. Christa's brand, website, and Instagram platform, Do a New Thing, equips busy communicators and leaders with project management and problem-solving skills so they can turn their big ideas into a successful ministry or business. You are going to love this episode. It's so practical. Christa shares her top 3 tips for the woman entrepreneur who wants to monetize on Instagram based on practical, simple ways to align with your brand. And now, listen in.
Hey there, it's Ruthie from RuthieGray.mom, and welcome to Instagram Insider Hacks. So easy, your mom can do it. This is the podcast that teaches you how to authentically deliver your message in a non-pushy way. If you want to receive engagement and investment on your Insta time, listen in. And now, here's your host, me, Ruthie Gray. Welcome, my good friend, colleague, and member of my own Instagram Insider community, Christa Hutchins.
Hey, Ruthie, it's so fun to be with you again. I love talking to you.
I love having you over too. And by the way, congratulations on your new podcast called Just One Simple Thing. It's so great. I love it. It's short, succinct gems of wisdom and actionable tips. And every week there's an action step. And just congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I was, a lot of people have told me for a long time I should start one. I was very reluctant to take that on, but, God just kind of worked it all out, helped me get a format that'll work for me. And I love it. So it's been a lot of fun. And the feedback has just been very humbling and very exciting.
And the key term there is format that will work for me, which is what you teach as a project manager. Yeah. So you model what you teach. And that's what's so authentic about the podcast. And so far, my favorite episode is episode 5. What type of stuck are you? I found out I'm the idea factory, which I probably already knew that because every morning I wake up with 1 bazillion ideas.
Yeah, that happens the most idea factories. And so, idea factories need a way to filter all of those ideas and to make some decisions.
Yes, we do, for sure. And we'll talk more about your quiz there because you have actually a quiz about it in a few minutes. But one thing I love that, before your episode, you always say, now let's go make a decision. And we all need help making decisions, right?
Yeah, we do. And we think that, because we have all these ideas that we have to do them all. But really, we just need good mechanisms and filters to be able to sort through all those ideas and be able to make decisions that stick and that you can just close the door on and keep going forward without constantly second guessing yourself and trying to make sure you made the right decision and all that. Just take the first few steps and it will be clear. That's kind of what I did with the podcast. Even though I wasn't quite sure it was really what I was supposed to do, I just started taking the first few faithful, obedient steps and eventually got to the point where I realized, yeah, this is what I want to do. So, clarity comes from action. That's the other thing I say at the end of every episode. Clarity comes from action, and action can be just one simple thing.
Such great advice. And your tagline is moving your God dream from vision to action together, actually on your website. And I've mentioned before already, you're a project manager, IRL.
Yes, I am.
So how are you, in this series we're doing on Instagram monetization, how are you using Instagram to drive traffic to your efforts?
Well, I think one of the key words in that tagline is together. You know that I am big, big, big on relationships and on collaborations and bringing people together. And so I hope that through my Instagram work, that people feel that they feel like they're less alone because I'm in there with them. And I'm also helping them connect with other people who are in there with them. So I drive them to places like the podcast, the quiz, the What Type of Stuck Are You quiz, my mastermind, and my one-on-one coaching so that they feel less alone and they feel comfortable joining those places because they've gotten to know me through Instagram.
Yes. You are one of the first people that ever reached out to me really for collaborations. And you've taught me a lot about collaborations and community, and we are in this together. So I think you model that really well. So let's talk about something you did to help monetize using Instagram. It was this past year. Well, it was this year. Well, it was last year.
It was last year. Yeah. I know already. It was in the disastrous 2020, right? Something good happened.
Okay. So we're in 2021 right now, but you did a Kickstarter to fund your line a day journal. And I had never heard of a Kickstarter before you did this. And obviously I got on board because I thought it was a fabulous idea. I invested and I use my journal every single morning. In fact, it's something I look forward to instead of dreading like lines and lines upon lines, trying to write a long thing that happened for my day. I just write one line because that's all there's room for, really. There's just like 2 inches. So I love that because it again drives home the one simple thing. So tell us the results of the program, your Kickstarter, and how you exceeded your goals.
Yeah, so Kickstarter is a platform where you can offer new products, new product ideas, things that you're exploring, and offer people an opportunity to join in with you and fund by crowdsourcing to fund your idea. And so I knew I had this idea for the Line a Day journal. I had done a short 4-month trial version, and I was ready to launch the full year version for 2021. So on Kickstarter, I set up a Kickstarter campaign, and you run them for a limited time. So the suggested time is 2 weeks. So that's what I did. And then you pick a value that is your target goal for your Kickstarter, how much money you want to raise to be able to produce your thing. And people who join in on your Kickstarter can get different levels of bonuses and extras to go along with whatever it is you're funding. And so if you reach your funding level, then Kickstarter collects all that money and gives you most of it. They can keep a little bit for themselves, which is normal. And then you produce the thing. But then if you don't make your goal, then nobody pays anything. You don't get anything. It's all gone. So I set my goal at $1,500 in 2 weeks. So that was what I was going to try to do. So I promoted it on my Instagram, in my newsletter, and my Facebook. And I was shocked at the response. Partly, I think it was because you're right. It's a good idea. It was a very unique idea. There's nothing like a 1-year line a day journal on the market. All the line a day journals are for 5 years. And this one is for 1 year that cycles through every month. So you can see every month what you wrote, the months before. So it was a unique idea. And my community, my Instagram community, the rest of my Do a New Thing community, they wanted to support me. And Kickstarter is a fun way for people to support you and to promote and help you be able to fund your project. So we met the $1,500 goal within, I think, 7 or 8 days. We made the $1,500 goal. And so then you're allowed to set a stretch goal if you meet the first goal. So we set a stretch goal of $2,500. And so we met that, right? We were 2,501 is where we ended up. And so that funded the printing of the journal. And my goal for the journal last year was to sell 300 copies. And because of the Kickstarter and a partnership with another ministry, we sold about 700 copies of the journal last year. So I really was excited about that. God just really used it to help people to get the thoughts out of their heads. I think that was an important thing in 2020. We had a lot of things going on in our heads and things to process and just needed to get them out. And this was a quick and simple way to do that. So yeah, that's how it all worked out.
Yeah. And so I think that the way you can make this kind of thing happen from Instagram by leveraging Instagram is knowing your audience well, don't you? And what they need.
Yeah, I think, seeing what people were struggling with and knowing, they were just having trouble processing their thoughts at that time. And so giving them an opportunity to do that in a simple way and also in a fun community-based way that was really, again, authentic for my brand, because I am all about the community and the relationships. And so bringing my community along with me on that journey from the very beginning, I think that, again, was part of the success that I've used Instagram to build those relationships that people want to be part of what I'm doing. So that was really fun.
So you're there, you're present, you know your people, you are communicating, you're building community. Having said all that, what are your top 3 tips for the woman entrepreneur who wants to monetize on Instagram?
I think number 1 is don't be afraid of it. You can feel really icky sometimes, but as I've learned from you a lot is anytime that we're trying to monetize and earn income off of Instagram or through Instagram is offering value along with whatever it is that you're selling. So yes, people get value if they pay for what you are offering, but they also get value just by hearing your promotion because you're offering tips and you're offering ideas and you're offering encouragement through your offer. So just your offer is valuable, whether or not they buy into whatever it is that you're selling. So that's my first tip. My second one, I think, would be to continue to be authentic to your brand and make sure that whatever it is you're offering, whether it's something of yourself or you're an affiliate opportunity that you're offering for someone else or something else that you're promoting, make sure that it fits with your brand and that it's something that people would expect to come to you for. So, I wouldn't necessarily, where I am, I wouldn't promote, children's products or whatever, because that's not what people would expect from me. So make sure that whatever you're offering or promoting fits with the brand that you've built, the promise, because your brand is your promise. And so make sure that whatever you're offering is your promise. And I think did you want to add something to that?
No, I am in total agreement right now.
Okay, great. And the third one, just from, my planning and being strategic brain, is looking at your calendar and planning out your opportunities for promotion and for open cart, closed cart, affiliate promotions, things that you're doing, because it does get really wary for people if you're constantly promoting something all the time. Mm-hmm. And so if you, and those opportunities come up a lot. I mean, there's a million things that you could promote, that you could be an affiliate for, your own products, your friends, those kind of things. So in addition to being choosy about the types of things that you promote, the other thing would be being choosy about when you promote them, so that you give your audience a break. You give them a rest from hearing promotions, because they will begin to tune you out if all you're doing, if every other post is a promotion. And so sometimes I feel like I've fallen in that trap and I've had to work my way out of it. But it's something I'm really focusing on this year, is having specific open and closed carts for sure for my own products, but also being careful not to load myself up on too many other summits and affiliate opportunities and things that are really amazing opportunities, really amazing products. But I'm learning I don't have to promote everything that people ask me to promote.
Exactly. We have to be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. We do have to, there does seem like there are all kinds of opportunities that come our way, and maybe they're good friends that we're affiliates for, but I feel like we have to consider our followers first.
Right.
So that is the ultimate goal, is delivering value to them. So I just want to sum up what you just said. Your top 3 tips were, and the first one is, when you are doing a launch, is to deliver value through that launch. And you're not just saying buy my thing, but you're actually teaching and giving, golden tips, golden nuggets that people can take away, even if they don't purchase your thing. And then authenticity, so that that this fits with your brand and what your people want. And then lastly, the timeliness of it, and not just stacking one promotion on top of the other, right?
Right. That's right. Those are my top 3. Yeah.
Those are good. I'd say they're probably my top 3 too. Oh, those are really good. So let's wrap up this interview, Christa, with what is one fun fact that most people don't know about you?
One thing that not many of my online friends know, a lot of my older friends know, but my dad was a sports writer when I was growing up. And so we went to all major sports events, and I'm the oldest of 3 girls. So he never got a boy to do those. And none of us 3 girls are truly athletic. So yeah, I was the one who realized to have a good relationship with my dad, I needed to be a sports fan. So I'm a huge, huge sports fan. I love football, and mainly football. Big sports fan. So yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize about me. Kind of cute.
I did not know that either. that is a very fun fact. And I bet you that our people in our membership don't know that either. So
there you go.
Our Girl Squad is going to really soak that up, I think.
Yeah.
Christa, thank you so much for being with us today. Before we wrap this up, though, what plans do you have for your journal for next year?
Well, I'm hoping to expand it and make it, last year it was just the journal. This year, I'm hoping to put a little bit of content from my mastermind around finding your focus and setting goals into it, create a hardback wire-bound version that's a little sturdier and maybe a little bigger. Although I want to make sure I offer both versions, because people do love the slim version now that just kind of tucks in your Bible and is easy to have. So, but I think I'd like to offer a little bit of a deluxe version, and I'm going to work with a designer to start designing that here within the next couple of months. So be on the lookout for the deluxe Move Forward journal coming in the fall.
Yeah, fantastic. And so that is one more way that you use your one simple thing and your move forward momentum is by building on what you already know is working. And you know that journal work, which, by the way, I'm going to continue to get the little as you know, I travel a lot and on planes and stuff like that. So I'm going to be getting that, but who knows, I might get the other one too. But we wish you well on that, Christa, because I just think it's so needed and just a really fun way to chronicle. I love looking back on what happened the last month or the last 2 or 3 months on the same day. And it helps me stay on track with a few things that I want to do.
Yeah, I think it also helps you kind of realize the passage of time, because I look like right now in April, we're recording this in April, and I can look at January through April on every page, and I look back at something and I think, oh my gosh, that was 3 months ago. How could it be how could 3 months have gone by already? Number one, look at what God has done in that situation in those 3 months. And number two, how can I make sure that every one of my days counts, because they feel like they're getting shorter all the time. So yeah, one of the things I love about the journal.
Teach us to number our days.
Yeah.
How can folks connect with you online, Christa?
Here on Instagram at Do a New Thing. On my website, doanewthing.com, or is another way you can find me. So yeah, those 2 places are the best.
And you never know, you might see Christa and I doing a live together. We do those every once in a while, as well as these kind of podcast episodes. So
yeah, we do. And they're always fun. So I appreciate the way that you've helped support me and help me spread the word about the things that I do. And I love doing that for you as well.
Yeah, I was going to say likewise. One of us is never too far away from the other, even though geographically we are. It's like we're pretty close together as far as online.
Yeah, we are. We're very well aligned. And so I love that.
I do too. Thank you so much for your time today, Christa.
Thank you for having me, Ruthie.
Oh, wasn't that so good? Christa's advice is both simple and timely as we process what we've learned already from this series. In episode 38 with Susie Goodwin of Run Lift Mom Pod, we learned how to generate Instagram revenue by driving traffic to your website. And episode 39 was all about how your amazing content can explode Instagram growth through social selling with Carrie Wilson of the Little Palette Farmhouse on Instagram. Today, Christa explained how to simply take your brand, and I love how she said your brand is your message, and test the first few steps, and then if it works, you can proceed. And if it doesn't, you've only lost a little bit of time, yet gained tremendous insight. And then consider Kickstarter could be the way to test your product. Be sure to follow Christa at Do a New Thing. And if you've enjoyed this series, could I ask a favor? Would you rate the podcast and leave a review? Those podcast reviews mean a lot for keeping us going and producing more valuable information like this, so you can continue growing and putting to use what you've learned on the Instagram platform. And if you've already left a review, thank you so much. Know that I appreciate you listening. And be sure to check out the show notes to follow my special guests and get all the links and extra info they've offered there. On my website, ruthiegray.mom, all of the show notes are there, all the links, everything, all the information. And one last thing, snap a photo of the podcast or what you're doing while listening and post on Instagram and tag me. I want to recognize and thank you, so I'll repost and tag you back. Be sure to come back next week for our final installment on Instagram monetization. And remember, there's only one you, so be uniquely you on Instagram and your people will follow.